Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and interdimensional seer. Together, they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources. Make sure to post your questions and comments below. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. We are coming up to the fourth part of the series of related to Battlefield 2042, and Peter's here. We're going to talk about it a little further, but also today we're going to present and discuss some of the questions and answers that have been left in the comments section. So thanks everyone for listening and participating. And without any further delay, we're going to bring in Peter, and the first topic is going to be about Life is Strange, the video game.
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, to all of our regular, maybe not so regular listeners, and thank you all. Also, thank you for another opportunity to be on your channel.
You're welcome, Peter. It's nice to have you here. And we know that you bring in a very unique perspective than what's going on in many of the disclosure venues, and information directly coming from the ACIO. So thanks for being here. I know that you get very busy, and we appreciate your time. So why don't you get started, and let's hear a little bit about what's going on and how Life is Strange fits into this whole series.
Yeah, technically, I don't know, because there should be Life is Strange, and there is this overall stuff about Life is Strange. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I don't know if this is what we want to see.
This is like an article, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because we've got this very good fandom site, and I don't know if this is what should be go.
Yeah, it keeps moving.
Yeah. So long story short, there are 4 Life is Strange games in total. That's, Life is Strange Before the Storm, what is pretty much the prequel, and it should be Life is Strange 2. Then, then we've got yes, this is what I'm talking about. Then we've got Life is Strange 2, its official title, but technically it's Life is Strange 3. It is like that. And Captain Spirit, it's pretty much Captain Spirit is like bonus stuff to Life is Strange for Life is Strange 2/3. It's kind of, confusing, but it is how it is. And Life is Strange True Colors, it is another name for Life is Strange 4, if we want to call it that way. Yeah, so
you told me about A Life is Strange True Colors, and
yeah.
The scenario is that there's someone by the name of Gabriel, and this is the brother of Alex Chen, and she's the young Asian American woman. And they live in Oregon. Her brother is Gabe, and they live in a town called Haven Springs, Colorado.
Yes. So she's able to see, quotes in quotes, I mean, Alex is able to see quotes in quotes colors. That means like aura, emotions, and all kind of that stuff. And as we can see, there are many chapters, you know, and of course within those chapters there will be, because there are like like series, and there will be episodes within them and all kind of that stuff. And there will be, bam, Max and Chloe will be you know, like coming back to the scene. And I don't know if this is good idea for them to get back.
This is Max
Maxine Caulfield, yeah.
Caulfield, and this is Chloe Price.
Yeah. So pretty much, I mean, I am not often frequent, like openly, publicly talking about my private life, but technically, I am living with Chloe. So technically, she's pretty much like that, but you know, except blue hair. She doesn't have. She doesn't have blue hair. Nope. Nope.
Right.
And as I said, she doesn't resist to show how she looks like. I don't know if we have this picture, but if
you have some
want,
other pictures of her. Yeah.
So.
All right. So originally were they in Before the Storm, or?
Life is Strange like first, and then Before the
one.
Storm is technically like the second one, yeah.
And then they were in Life is Strange 2 as well, right?
Yeah, you are right.
And so it's not until you get to True Colors that they're not involved. And why is that, Peter?
Because they want their characters to develop, if you want to call it that way.
Yeah.
And it is weird because after that kind of crazy amounts of time, I don't know if this is a good idea to get them back, like involve them back
In that
it's
location.
Like 5 years or so, something like that. Approximately, I'm not sure.
And so you have this series called Roads, and then also Wolves. What is the difference between the two here?
Yeah, it's pretty much you know, how can I say it, like it depends on the way, or on the ways respectively how you as a player will choose. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I see.
The decisions, if we want to call it that way, how you will decide. Yeah, that's kind of stuff.
So how does this relate to Battlefield 2042?
Yeah, that's a question. Because they created those environment for chaos, organized chaos. They opened portals. That's what we need to say. They opened portals, and this is bad. I mean, really bad.
The ones that were involved with the Life is Strange experience, they opened portals unintentionally.
Of course, unintentionally, but once something happened, in a real deal, it absolutely doesn't matter if it was intentional or not intentional or whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It doesn't matter, absolutely. No. Absolutely doesn't matter. No. I mean it for real. No.
So then is Chloe and Maxine and some of the others involved in trying to correct what happened?
Yeah, because technically they didn't, you know, they didn't Even they didn't do it, it was because of experiments, and those experiments caused this stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. Experiments, they were what? They were involved in, if we want to call it that way.
Okay, so let me just do a read through of the game a bit. So the protagonist is Maxine Caulfield, a photography senior, who discovers she can manipulate time after rewinding it to save her old best friend Chloe Price. As Max uses her new ability and gets premonitions of a storm coming to Arcadia Bay, she and Chloe try to find out what happened to Rachel Amber, who mysteriously disappeared. The prequel Before the Storm, developed by Deck 9 Games, is set 3 years prior to the game's events and tells the story of Chloe and Rachel's friendships. So let's see, with the awesome adventure of Captain Spirit with the 9-year-old boy Chris as a protagonist. Captain Spirit is meant to serve as a free-to-play introduction to the new world of Life is Strange 2, which tells a story about two brothers, Sean and Daniel Diaz, feeling their home after a tragic police incident. So these are kids that were, some of them were in foster care, had lost their parents or divorced parents, you know, different scenarios like this, but they were gifted kids.
Yes, that's true.
Were all of these kids from Monarch? They were used by Monarch.
Yeah, technically Monarch kids. Sorry, I need to correct you. Not used, misused. Because used can be either for good or bad purposes. All of those children were misused for very bad purposes. Yeah.
And so the just to cover a little bit of a background for those that are new to this information, the corporation Monarch had abducted these children and then, knowing that they had abilities, badly mistreated them, treated them very horrible, like.
Yes, I mean, like, goddamn horrible. Yes, you are right.
Right, which
yes,
created traumas. Very bad traumas. But then they were reintroduced into this reality.
Yes, because it is, and that's the problem, at least from my point of view. Like, how the heck someone can think about even like any living being, and not, especially not about children, respectively, not children but young aged people, that their mission was like, okay, they served what they should serve, period, and that was it. And they just they were like, okay, we need to develop certain things, and after that they literally want to smash them like a trash. It was crazy. It was like, it was literally, and I will not watch my language, not next level shit. Like, literally, it was crazy. It was like, what in the world is that?
Yeah, it's like things that are unforgivable, just really, really horrible acts of abuse.
For those people, I mean, for them, I mean, I don't know if they are even, if we can consider them as a people. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They are absolutely careless. They don't care. It's like, if something like it's acceptable or not acceptable, or whatever, you know. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
These are hybrids, crossbreeds.
I just want to say that technically I sent this photo to you.
Oh.
How Chloe looks like in real life. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yep.
In chat, I send this to you.
Yeah, what we can do is we can add it. We can insert it.
Yeah, we can add it to the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, So we know that there was some major abuses that happened, and then the ACIO, as well as Lincoln Clay and yourself, helped to
Yeah,
rescue this group, which we refer to as the Monarch refugees, or merge,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Monarch umbrella refugees. Yeah, that's
Umbrella, that's correct. Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. And so everyone that's involved in these stories were part of that program.
And that's the bad part of the. I don't want to say story because story can be faked, but this is bad part of the revelation. Yeah.
Okay, and so moving forward, going into we'll go into battle 2042. So then we get to.
So because we need to say once again very clearly why this. I mean, because technically this seems or looks like it is totally unrelated to Battlefield 2042, but as I said, without all those stuff we discussed right now, there will be no wormholes, and without wormholes, there will be no situation that, let's say, entered the whole problems, the whole chaos, and all kind of that stuff. What settled even the possibility of Battlefield 2042, exactly as you said. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the whole situation.
As I
Yeah.
remember from Life is Strange 1, Maxine discovers that she has this ability to change time, but she discovers it because they had wiped her memory about it. So it's like you said, they don't.
Yes, because technically once there will be no mind wipe, or let's call it recall, like total recall, then she will know about it. Do you know what I mean?
And to be more careful about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because there will be, because she will get that with even tiniest of tiny little changes, there will be a butterfly effect, you know.
And what can you explain that to people?
A butterfly effect, that means chain of actions and reactions, and again reactions, reactions. That means like causality. Do you know what I mean? Pretty much
Mm-hmm.
like the, how we can say it, the history. Do you know what I mean? That's the stuff. Butterfly effect. Yeah. 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 We can see it.
And here it is.
Chaos
It's a
theory.
it's a
Yeah.
chaos theory, and you've
Yes.
talked a
Yes.
lot about chaos.
Because this is it. This is it. If we can see it. Yeah.
And
Technically.
also, there's weather issues involved in this as well, right?
Yeah. Of
So,
course.
yeah.
This is it. This is it. So the stuff is. I just want to say one very important thing for all of our listeners, that every single stuff, all of those links and stuff we are talking about, we will put them in the description. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct, Peter.
Yeah, yeah. So people can be sure that none of this will just be left here in the video and all kind of that stuff. So let, we will let our listeners to be sure that this is it, what we are talking about. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah, so that people could do their own research afterwards and review some of the things we're talking about and
Hmm.
come to their own conclusions. Because it's not just random discussions. We actually have material that we want to present because we know these are new topics, which makes people very skeptical, which is fine. We've always kind of been in that environment, but
Yeah, but technically, give me a second. I don't want to be like information master, or I don't want to say information god, but do you know what I mean? Like information master, like ultimate source of information. Because from my point of view, once someone have, or someone, if someone believe that he or she got like, this is it, like ultimate source of information, and those people will never ever follow another information sources, no matter which kind of sources we are talking about, including myself, just by the way. uh, those people simply start to dramatically drop the interests about getting, of knowing the truth, because I am doubting even my sources. Yeah, it is like that, depending of on topics like 70, 80%. I'm not saying that I am making the things up, definitely not, but I am doubting it. It's natural. It's natural, at least from my point of view, because once I will just say, okay, this is it, period. Yeah, I mean, like, this is it. That means this, what I get, it equals true, and period, end of story. Ah, then I think that I will consider it as a bad resolution. Just for information, okay? That's it.
right. I think that skepticism requires people to do research and to find answers. So, I mean, but your information is coming from directly from the ACIO and projects and information that you have worked on personally or have colleagues,
Most of it,
yeah,
yes,
or have
yes.
colleagues that you trust.
But technically, yeah, there can be, like doubts. It's normal, it's natural. But I'm saying, you need to get through it. You need to make your own personal research, and as I like to say, you'll be the judge, for your like personal.
Right. And so, like I said, this is a perspective of the ACIO. This is data and information that's coming directly from the ACIO, and
Yeah,
then
but give me a
there's
second.
other
Yes,
information that's coming
yes,
from.
you are right on one hand, but on the other hand, I am not saying that we've got like every single right to have like to be 100% true. Yeah.
Right. What, but as far as you would not put out any information that you don't believe is true, or you would say, I'm not sure. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel the same way. I'm not if I'm not really sure about certain things, and people will say, "Well, that happened," and I'm not sure about it, then I say, "I'm not sure," and that's the honest thing to do because there's so much information out there right now. We want to make sure that people are following the right direction because that affects the where you're putting your energy toward, and it's affecting the outcome and the egregora of the planet, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
one of the things that I want to ask you, getting back to Life is Strange. So, uh, you have to go through certain. So even when you go to correct what had happened, when in their attempts to help one another on a personal level in opening up portals, this butterfly effect happened, and then so now to correct it, if you do anything that is shifting time in any way, you're still creating butterfly effects, even if it's related to Battlefield 2042. So in a further event. So what is?
Give me a second. This is very bad problem. Very big and problem, and it created very bad and negative egregora, because, as I said, we've got we had certain shield against wormholes, and wormholes, once we've got tons of wormholes, they simply are trashing and smashing our planet and context of existence. That's the fact that it's like almost pure chaos and everything, and this led to even to the smallest tiniest possibilities of starting conditions what led to Battlefield 2042. That's the let's say the bounding chord between those two games, what technically are not games or stories, but they are revelations.
Right. Okay. So is there anything else that you would like to say about this, or do you feel that is?
From my point of view, we covered it pretty much. If of course, if you are satisfied with it, and if you don't want to add anything else.
Okay, maybe we can get right into the Q&A then.
Okay,
does that sound like a good idea? Okay, let's go to the first one. So, Inky or Enlil asked the question, when you say air quality being denser, it could be something else. For example, Rudolf Steiner says, in Atlantis, air or the atmosphere was more dense than what we have today. So they could fly in the air, and he says water or oceans was less dense in that than what we have today, so they can breathe there or move easily or exist in the ocean. Maybe that is not exactly how we put it, but as I understood, the material density was different in Atlantis. Maybe in the future, material density we have around now will change like it did during the fall of Atlantis. Please comment.
Okay, so the fact is that now okay, there is one very important phenomenon. What is ability you need to have? Either a very highly advanced machine, or be man, respectively. I mean, not man as a man, but I mean like someone from mankind. That means like human, because no matter if man or woman, or any other high developed entity, being, like that can shift, like phase shifting. Do you know what I mean? And that's the stuff. It doesn't mean shift to another, I don't know, like timeline, reality, like dimension, or let's say array, and like 3, 4, third, fourth, fifth array density, or whatever. No, you simply can shift yourself and you will be unseeable, hearable, unsmellable. Do you know what I mean? But you will be there. So that's the stuff, okay? This is the stuff. And this very easy and very practically can, and not only can, but it is explaining why, for example, yeah, um, people can breathe underwater or water, and this is it. Can, it doesn't mean it has, but can have a lighter, or I mean like is easier or heavier density than air or whatever. So this is it, okay? Phase shifting. This is it.
Phase shifting, is that PHASE or?
Yeah, phase. Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at that. Is there, let's see if we can find a definition.
Yeah.
So
yes, this
waveforms communication refers to displacement of two signals when propagated in a time domain. The displacement can be caused by a signal processing device such as an electronic amplifier or low or high pass filter.
Give me a second. I need to stop you this for a few moments, because this is it. Now we are very limited with our known, like till nowadays known technology, and this is it. What we can or how we can use this phenomenon for our purposes. Yeah, look at it. But as I said, in Atlantis times, or I don't know, like Atlantis, what not times, let's say, point of existence. This is it, point of existence, and they've got much higher vibration potential, or pretty much the same stuff it was with Lemuria, with Shangri-La, you know. Their vibration potential was much higher, despite they were in 3D, that means our dimension, or third array density. And there was much wider, much broader possibilities of using this phenomenon. But sorry, I don't want to disturb you, I mean interrupt you, but this is very important stuff what I need to describe, you know. So sorry for that, just go on.
No, this is fine. I was also looking at an article here that says, "What if Earth's magnetic field disappeared?" And and then it talks about how that extending from the Earth is invisible spaghetti. This is the planet's magnetic field created by a churn of Earth's core. This field is important for everyday life. It shields the planet from solar particles. It provides a basis for navigation and might have played an important role in the evolution of life on Earth. So these particles, or these spaghetti-like rays, are what's visible, and I guess that maybe they had a different format, or more. Maybe there was more in abundance at earlier in history. Is that correct, Peter?
Yeah, that's true.
So that as things are, we're losing some of that electromagnetic field due to some of the tampering of the planet, and so it's making it harder, right? And I guess in battlefield.
Give me a second. Two problems. First, it's global warming. That means that atmosphere, Earth atmosphere, it's, let's say, over energized. It's too much energy in Earth atmosphere. So it's the first problem. And second problem, as I said, it was in early 50s, like 51, 1951, 52, Schumann. He measured resonance, that means, of course, named by him, Schumann resonance. It was something like, the basic one was 7.83 or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was something like that. And after all of those years, in 2011, it was measured more than 8.6, almost 8.7. It was like 8.67, 8.68 or something like that. It was crazy. And yeah, 1952, yes. So that's the stuff, we can name Schumann resonance something like very easy in a normal language, as Earth heartbeat. And Earth's heart is racing pretty much. And question, why it is so, has very easy answer, right? Because there is too much electromagnetical noise. I mean, noise, respectively, we can say it like, we've got too many electromagnetical, like electronics, pretty much. Electronic is everywhere. Signal is everywhere. I mean, signal of whatever, radio, TV signal, I don't know, cell phone signal, it's everywhere, And that's the problem. That's very big problem, So that's the stuff. Those two factors. You
said the
factors.
Schumann, and what was the other? The Schumann resonance, and what was the other?
No.
The phase?
It is it. Schumann. What? Sorry.
The phase shift, or
yeah. Give me a second, please. A fact is that global warming and Schumann resonance. Those two factors are technically breaking us or slowing us down, if we want to call it that way, to gain. It's breaking us or slowing us down, in order to gain more wisdom, more knowledge, more wisdom, and especially about phase shifting, because as you open this article, look at that, what we consider phase shifting about. Just please, can we go? Yes, look at that. It's about electronics and period, and that's the problem. Even like pardon me, about electric current. Do you know what I mean? We've got certain phases, AC, like alternative current, and that's the stuff. In comparison, it's extreme contrast. In comparison, what I said about phase shifting, that once, if we have a highly advanced enough technology, or someone certain intelligent and highly developed enough beings, including people of course, if they are developed enough and of course in acceptable enough, let's say um in how we can call it, if they are connected enough with Mother Earth, so with Gaia, they can phase shift themselves without any need of stepping out of our context of existence. They will be, for example, someone as a person can be 1 inch or less than 1 inch, you know, uh, let's say close to you, and you cannot see this person if this person wants. You cannot smell this person. Do you know what I mean? Or if it is cold enough, once it can be, do you know what I mean? Like sorry, once it can be, once you will be outside in the winter, you will not see, I mean, the heat of the person. No. And this really can happen.
Is this an ability or a
Give me a
augmented
second.
ability or
Ability, or let's say there are two ways. Either you will be born with this ability, or you can teach this ability. But what I need to say, most indigenous people, so like very old, like let's say ancient cultures, I mean like Native Americans, no matter if I am talking about people from, I mean, like, they are living in North, Middle, or South America, or I don't know, Aborigines in land down under in Australia, they've got it naturally. Like not 90, 95, 98% of them, they've got it.
what about those? There must be technology that allows people to do that as well, devices and so forth.
Yes, but those are not regular devices. You need to be heavily augmented,
Right.
in order to get it, like to get this ability. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. I will say you why it is extremely, let's say, tiny eyes, because it is not ability, it's quotes in quotes feature. And once something is called feature, it's like, what in the world is that? It is like you are not, you stop to be considered as a person. You start to be considered some sort of robo whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because they are
Right.
saying about it like a feature. What? And I am,
Like a car has a feature. Yeah.
yes, or certain electronic piece of electronics or whatever. Yes, I am working in this field, like army, like a high tech stuff, and I'm in every single context I encountered such a stuff. They used this term feature, and I'm like, what? Did they get nuts? Do you know what I mean? Because feature it's bad. It's like it isn't, it shouldn't be about a living being. It's piece of tech. Do you know what I mean? Pieces of technology have features, you know.
Right.
That's no,
And these are
we
new.
shouldn't be laughing about it, because it's literally phase shifting. Because you got like certain argument, and it is like features, and I'm like, what? You know, like, oh crap.
And we should be learning this terminology because there are many that are augmented now, and we should to understand what's going on. I mean, hopefully not everyone's forced to be in that situation in the future, because
Do
some
you
of the
know what?
scenarios
Do you know
say
what?
yes.
95% of heavily augmented individuals, let's say people, but I don't consider them as a people anymore, because they are heavily augmented. Heavily, that means like not, for example, you was a veteran, heavily injured in battlefield, and you've got certain argument, yeah, for example. But I'm talking about because you was forced because of circumstances, yeah. But I'm talking about individuals, they underwent, let's say, this, like, you know, augmentation process. 98% of them even stop thinking as as a people. Like they are only calculating, like
Right.
no emotions, no whatever. It's like it was, yeah, okay, like efficiency, uh, efficiency and effectivity system features. What in the world is that? I don't know. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but I mean, like, I'm scared, to be honest. I'm scared. And
Yeah,
I can't get scared because of something, but this is very scary, you know.
we see that in the Observer game, in the Observer video game,
Yeah,
as well
exactly.
as in Cyberpunk 2077.
Exactly the same. Yes, this is it. What I'm saying. I'm talking especially about this reality when, let's say, cyberpunk slash observer mixed-ish reality. Yes, exactly. Yes,
So
let's say, there was emotions. Sorry, my bad. They were emotions, but that's the stuff. They were not talking about their emotions, but was in singular, because they take it unblock, like emotion-ish feature. No, it wasn't emotion like love, hate, fear. Do you know what I mean? Like furiousness or whatever. No, it was like one pack emotions. Do you know what I mean? And they were loading it, and I was like, what in the world? Do you know what I mean? So
yep.
that's the reason why they were not talking about emotions like their emotions, was emotions, like one single, how can I say, like file. They download it, and they was emotions. That's the stuff. They didn't care about positive, negative, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to get back to the question again.
So
And
sorry, my bad, but it's crazy from my point of view.
yeah, no, it's good that we kind of got in there and reviewed a little bit of this. But part of the question was, is that are we able to return back to that place like Atlantis, where we can breathe underwater, where we can have be able to move or even fly if we need to naturally
Yes, in fifth array density,
in the fifth array.
or technically we can call it like fifth dimension, or 5D. Fifth array density, it's call it as you like. It's pretty much the same phenomenon, but or same thing, but just we are using different names. So yeah, that's true. Yes.
Okay, so could I say that that Atlantis was in the fifth array density this whole time?
Yes, and it was pretty much bleed through, or there were bleed throughs to our
Right.
density
Yes.
or
Yeah.
our dimension. Yeah, you are right.
That's why it's hard for people to find it. That's correct. Yeah.
Yes, and pretty much
Hmm.
the same story with Lemuria, with Shangri-La. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
All
yes.
of them, they're often mentioned. Yes. I
Yes.
agree.
I mean, give me a second. They are not of the dimensional. For fifth array
Uh,
density, they were in dimensional, but for us, off dimensional. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Or they came in as a bleed through and then they seemed to disappear, but they didn't.
Yes.
It's also like the is it the Anasazi Indians and the Mayans had a
Oh,
civilization?
yes,
Same
yes,
thing. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
You are right. You, as I like to say, you nailed it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
We're gonna go on
Uh-huh.
to the next question. A woman by the name of Lady Seenan, and she said, could these artists, referring to Hieronymus Bosch, see in the astral, or was their realm different? So, was he actually having visions and seeing these things in the astral, or was he some other place that
From
you know
my
he?
point of view, there was a channel. I'm not sure if it was astral, but it looks like that, and it was like, people were kind of hopeless. That, like, once you was a priest, or I don't know, bishop or whatever, uh, you can do pretty much anything. I mean, like, really wrong, and there will be, how can I say it, like, no punishment for you, or all kind of that stuff, and he just want to say to those people, quotes in quotes, say, I will say you why, that no, 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 people, this is not like that. Any single person, any single individual, he or she will commit sin, so let's say very bad stuff. uh, yes, it is like heaven, purgatory, and hell. We can see it.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
right
yes.
here. Yeah, it's like Adam and Eve being cast out. Yep.
Yes, yes. So give me a second. So that's the stuff that he was like, okay, we've got the Bible, but it was written in Latin. Many people, they I mean, I don't want to say many, but most people, they were unable to read or whatever, and even not to speak. I mean, to read and write, and even not to speak, in Latin. So he decided, like, okay, how the heck should I get this meaning for common people? So it was easy. He started to paint. And he painted multiple very interesting, pictures. That's it, at least from my point of view. But
Okay.
what he saw, which kind of channels he opened for himself, and how, it's hard to judge, hard to say. Many people believed that he was under the influence. He simply took some drugs or whatever. I don't know. From my point of view, it's hard to judge, but you know, it's kind of, once again, no censorship. He was very straightforward. Is If we can see those pictures, he was very straightforward. Am I right?
Yep. Yep. He was.
Very
He was.
straightforward.
Well, but he was in our reality. He was definitely in our reality.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that was part of the question. Was he from another reality?
Yes,
Or
he was. Yes, he
yeah.
was.
Here's an
and he
example.
tried as hard as he can to get all of his wisdom to, how can we call it properly, to spread it wide for people, like widespread it. Look at that, people. This is what I want to say to you. That's give me a second. I don't consider it as a true. I am just saying that that's my personal opinion. And just what another important stuff, his full name, he was Hieronymus Bosch van Aken, and he was from Netherlands. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see if I, okay.
Where is it?
I have to go back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from the Netherlands, from
Yes.
Brabant.
Brabant. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
okay. All right. So going on to the next question.
Yes, this is it. Hieronymus van Aken. Yes, this is it. Yes.
We have the next question from Infinity Man. Peter said that there was time jumping happening in Battlefield 2042 game, or it was tied to it. I watched the short film of Battlefield 2042 and saw nothing about time jumping. No idea where Peter got that information from. It wasn't in the video. So for me, I disagree with that information. So they don't mention that there's time jumping in 2042, but you're saying that the ACIO went there, or did you want to say something else about it?
That's the stuff. I'm talking about that of course they didn't, how can I say it? It wasn't directly mentioned, but I'm talking about time jump because it is, I mean, the game is released this year, that means 2021. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And the time jump, quotes in quotes, time jump is one time jump. I mean, let's say one step, time jump step, if we want to call it that way, regular, is 20 years, and this is it. Not 20 years like exactly, 20 years or less. But we can see it is 2042. So they've got what is pretty much, they can use it. So it's plus 10%, like 110%. That means like they can use 22 years. They can use. It's acceptable. But because of tensions and problems and distortions, discontinuities, we've got right here, right now. The problem is, that somehow it ended up bad. Because they shouldn't, because the developing of the game started, in 2020. So they used full, let's say, full potential, 110% potential. That means like 22 years. But because of this very complicated situation, what we are right now, it ended up very bad. And technically very bad, that means what will be the game pretty much about. It will, like describe the whole situation.
Right. So they don't talk about time jumping, but you're saying that it was a result of the time jumping. I just wanted clarity.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
Because as I said, regular, it can be 20 years or less, there is, as I said, 10% plus they can use this tolerance. But as I said, because of the whole, let's say, chaos, mess, mayhem, call it as whatever you like, it ended up very bad. And as I said, it will be described respectively. People will be able to see the outcomes. But do you know what? Actually, I'm happy about this question, because I like that someone is disagreeing. It's normal. I accept it in the first place. And the fact that game creators or developers something didn't mention, it doesn't mean that this quote unquote something that necessarily doesn't happen. That's the stuff. It's very big difference.
Correct.
I'm just saying.
So, like they say, you don't include all of the data or the information, just what you want the people to know about it. And there's a lot more going on in the background. And that goes for all of these different games that reveal time periods that are occurring in our future, that we don't have all the information is not available in the game because it's not relevant for people, and it's meant to be portrayed as a game but not necessarily as a piece of history or a future event. So that part is usually excluded. That's where the ACIO comes in to describe further some of the background information that may not be available publicly. I'm going to go on to the next question.
That's true. Yeah, we can go move to the next question. Yeah.
The next question is about the Jersey Devil, and that question came in from America's Quilt. And the question, the comment is, Jersey Devil is a Furfur 36 demon of the Kabbalah Lemmageddon. I believe they are recreating these. Please comment. So I said that they're primordial beings, and she or he is saying that this is a demon of the Kabbalah.
I don't want to say I don't want to say or I don't want to comment it, because I am not expert in this field. But what I can say, I know at least 4 people that they are completely independent, and they said, that something like that really exists. They encountered this kind of how can I say it, entity or whatever, how we can call them.
It's a multi-creature chimera entity.
Yes,
multi-species,
something like that.
Yeah.
And it was very close encounter. Very close. I am talking because that means like people, need to know what does it mean, close encounter. That means approximately like 13 feet to 20 feet. That means approximately from 4 to 6 meters. So really close encounter. And the description pretty much like 90-80% fits to that what people know as Jersey Devil. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because they get into the Kabbalah, and so I guess many have documented different types of species under different throughout cultural histories. So yeah, I mean, it's very likely that it is categorized in that way. We're going to go on to the next one from James Lee. His question is there any chance you could ask Peter what's really under the Haditha Dam? And I'm going to just open that up. This is a dam on the Euphrates north of Haditha, Iraq, creating Lake Qudusiyah. And the dam is just over 9 kilometers. It generates hydroelectricity and regulates the flow of the Euphrates and provides water for irrigation.
Yeah, technically they are hiding because technically Iraq, you know, it's Iraq, it's kind of, how can we call it? Complicated situation. We know it's complicated situation, you know, in Iraq. Underneath this dam, they've got artifacts and parts of, you know, Mesopotamian wisdoms, you know.
So is it, you know, was once above ground and now it is underground, or was it buried?
All the time. All the time it was buried. But technically that's the stuff. It's like, yes, it is underground, under the dam, but it is not like, hey, insider, say me. That's the problem. It's pretty much the stuff like with geocaching. Certain people believe it is like, I don't want to say like, hey, you've got the treasure. It's like, let's say like holy grail, you know, of geocaching, that you will have, you know, ancient Sumerian or whatever Mesopotamic, you know, knowledge, the wisdom, but you need to start, you know, from right end. And that's the stuff. Even, okay, which kind of geocaching you need to start? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So they do. Is it literally like Bitcoin? You mean, or are you talking about?
No. Give me a second. Do you know what I'm talking about? Not any cryptocurrency. I am talking about wisdom, ancient wisdom.
Okay. There's a project history here that says the dam project was conceived in the 1960s. Construction began in 1977. The dam embankment was designed by the Soviet Union's Ministry of Energy, with its power station and equipment being designed and constructed by various Yugoslavian firms. These included Hydrogradnja of Sarajevo, and the prime contractor from Belgrade, Energo Project. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And Metal of Maribor, and for intake gates and bottom outlet gate, radial gates, and Litos. Help me out here, Peter.
Litostroj, yeah. Of Ljubljana, yeah.
For turbines, and then also
Rade Končar.
Of Zagreb. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay. For generators and transformers. So all of this came from, it looks like Yugoslavia and Soviet Union is where they created all of this to create this hydroelectric power generator for the dam, right?
Yeah.
I'm just reading down. So, and then so has it said earlier that this was used, this had some things that were buried underneath. Let me see. I did see that. Yeah, I mean, somewhere I don't know. I just kind of browsed and I saw the information that yeah, it was excavated by the Japanese archaeological expedition in Iraq between 1982 and 1983, a multi-room underground structure along with staircases, 4 life-size lion terracotta statues, 3 medium-sized lion statues, and 1 lion statuette was found. These findings dated back to 1800 to 1700 BC. The ancient Anna was also flooded and contained a prized minaret. Today, only modern Anna exists. So this is, it was flooded. It was called the Anna. It's
So give me a
A-N-A-H.
second. I'm just saying that fact that there are ancient wisdom of Mesopotamia. It's really important, but it is, let's say, buried down variously about the ground of, down the ground all around the world. And people, they are into geocaching, they want to get desperately to get all those information, because
Right,
look
because
at that. Try to imagine that. Will you not want to get all the knowledge and the wisdom from ancient Mesopotamia? No, just be honest with me.
yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We're going to move on to the next question by Crystal Mural. I wonder if all of Siri, Google, Echo, probably Alexa, etc., is hooked up to robots to learn human behavior. So these are all the AIs that people are using as, information, how to travel from one location to another, just asking questions in their home. And, this is Siri. We'll just open up Siri real quick. And so it's an Apple program, virtual assistant.
Of course it is, ancient, it is, of course it is multiple and multiple linked AI stuff. At
So
least
they're
from my
gathering
point of
data, personal human behavior, personal information, personalities.
of course.
What are their plans to do with all of
It
this
is pretty
data?
much the stuff with the same stuff as Elon Musk wants to do or plan to do with his Neuralink company. He is telling the people that AI is something we need to accept, that it will come for us, respectively to us, and there is no chance, absolutely zero chance, to avoid it. And the only chance how to get along with it, it's accept it, and let's say, quotes in quotes, be 2 in 1. That means, like, we need to join our brains, and that's the problem. If he will say, or if he is will propagate or whatever. The brain as a human organ, I mean organ of human body, screw it. I mean, I don't want to say screw it, but do you know what I mean? But he is talking about souls too. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem.
Right.
He's getting it as okay, guys, this is it. There is no single chance how to avoid it. We cannot stop the progress, I mean technical or whatever progress. We cannot stop it. So there is only a chance how we will not get into a conflict with it, and this is it. Like
It's
Neuralink and all kind of that.
it's similar to what
Neuralink, my bad, sorry. Neuralink, okay, that's my bad, sorry.
It's similar to what they did with me in Murkoff, my lab,
Pretty much
using aspects of my soul then for other purposes, for other people, for other projects or whatever.
Yes, because give me a second, because they are talking in the about brain as a human organ, but it's not true. Technically, it looks like a human organ only, but they want to make mass genocide because they will be hijacking human souls, people's souls. Sorry for that. That's the problem, at least.
Absolutely. So then they could actually take the soul out of the body and repurpose it and do whatever they want, right? And that's if they go that far, if they can access it, and by the person allowing AI to be a part of.
Give me a second. Not allow AI. It will be the dictatorship, not allowing.
These are augments, though. They're implanted, isn't it correct?
Yeah, but it will.
But be forced.
It will end up like that, and it will not take long time. That even children, like newborn children, will be born with those arguments. And I am definitely not talking only about arguments in their brains, but multiple. I mean, like heavily augmented. And that's the problem. So technically,
that's where we're headed right now, unless we change something, right?
Yes. Yeah. Unless yes, exactly as you said. Yes.
But people, in order for people to say no to something, they have to know and believe that it exists, and we can only talk about it so many times before people.
Before people will be able to realize what the real dangers or potential dangers are, and how real those dangers are. Yes, exactly.
And stop being so starstruck over celebrities such as Elon Musk, who people think that they're heroes, and instead of seeing
that's the problem.
Trusting them. Yeah.
Because look at that, for example, he with his like multiple trust, it's huge trust of companies, and he got his own cryptocurrency, and his cryptocurrency is Dogecoin. Try to guess why. Because once someone don't want to talk directly about something, someone don't want to, let's say, they want to avoid direct, do you know what I mean, like, let's say, direct answers and all kind of that stuff. Look at that, it's Dogecoin, but technically it should be Dogecoin. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, DODGE. So like dodgeball.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but if it was Dogcoin, like they're implying it's about a dog, but there's an E there.
They are playing people. They are fooling people. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yes, it is as you said.
Nikhil Wani said, "Hi, Jessica. I wanted to ask Peter that as we are merging with another reality," I think he's talking about the Axis reality.
I'm sure about that. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sure about.
as we are merging with another reality, what changes will happen to our body, and is our soul from the reality? If our soul from the reality will merge with the soul in this reality, and the third part is when will it happen? So the first part is when we are asked when we are merging with another reality, what changes will happen to our body. The second part is what happens, will our souls merge together from the other reality in this one? And then the third one is when will this happen?
Pretty much, our bodies, what it was, bodies and minds.
Yeah, starting with what's going to happen to our body first.
Okay, so we need to, and this is the stuff, we need to get one thing very, very clear that I'm talking, respectively, I was talking multiple times about merging our reality, like ours right now, with second reality, but it's technically not that easy because I'm talking, or I was talking about two realities, but, and there is the problem, emerging from 80 to 120 different 120 different timelines, and of course very natural question is why so many? Because they want to get the best outcome possible, right? That's it. And it doesn't matter which reality we are merging with. It absolutely doesn't matter. The stuff is that the outcome of merging will be that we will end up in 5D, or in other words or in other words said, fifth array density, okay? And it's extremely hard and complicated to say how our bodies, and as a humankind, as a people, and how our senses and souls will work. I mean, bodies and then technically senses and our ability of reception reality and comprehension of phenomenons of world, life, and all kind of that stuff. It will be completely different. I will say you why. Because, for example, most of us in our reality, most of us are saying that we are living in 3D reality. Am I right?
Right.
But once, if we let's say, if we want to be very, very precise, we've got ball. Is ball spherical? Yes, it is. But you need to have only one parameter for defining size of the ball. So from this point of view, we are not living in 3D, but 1D. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or if we want to be even more precise, 1 plus 1, because the second one, that means plus 1, is time. Do you know what I mean? So, pardon me. It's extremely complicated to say what is right and what isn't. That's it. That's it.
But does the body change? Does the soul change?
Give me a second. Yes, it will change, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's extremely hard to and complicated to define the, let's say, the depth and width of changes. That's the stuff. Because everything will change. Everything will be totally different. As I said, there will be 2 more slash 4 more dimensions, because as I said, because ball is spherical and you need to have only one parameter for defining. We just, by the way, we are seeing a ball right now. I mean multiple balls, and that's it. You need to have only one parameter for defining the size of the ball. That's it. Do you know what I mean? So from this point of view, we are not living in 3D but 1D. Do you know what I mean? That's the stuff.
That's probably going to take more explanation to explain to people how that works. But I will say,
for example, you've got I don't know, like another is cube. You've got only one. You need to have only one parameter for defining, you know, how big is cube. Am I right or not?
right.
Or for example, there is brick-ish stuff. Do you know what I mean? Or we've got cuboid. I mean, like prism. Do you know what I mean? Once you want to get one dimension, you just used once you can define it with one dimension. You need to use and I'm kind of lost right now. Sorry for that. We need to move on, I think.
Yeah, so maybe we can formulate, because this is a scientific principle.
No, sorry, I've got it. Give me a second. Sorry, I've got it. So once, if you can define all those kind of stuff, you need to have only one dimension too. Diagonal. Do you know what I mean? Diagonal stuff.
Diagonal?
Diagonal, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got it. You've got it.
So is there a mathematical principle to define what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
What is it called?
It is, let's say, singularity. Do you know what I mean? Because
you're talking about geometric shapes. So
yes, geometric shapes, but this is the stuff. Like many people, they are there is no, or there will be no singularity. It will be, and I will say you why. In this, like, let's say better, you know, a reality, or better dimension, better array density, and that's the stuff. There will be no better or worse quality. There will be only another type of quality. No better or worse quality.
So there'll be an additional insert of something. It's almost like 2D is flat, right? Three-dimensional, as we understand, has multiple sides to view.
and technically
in
there will
depth,
be more
width,
and
height.
more and more, and it will end up like that, like we understand
Like a
somehow, and
prism.
it will be almost let's say it will be almost un yes, prism, exactly as you said, prism, yes.
So
Yes,
there's like multiple things
multiple
happening
times of,
within
yes, but this is it, look
within.
at that. If
Yeah.
you will see at them, you need to have only one parameter what is diagonal. Look at that, it's only diagonal, look at that. You can have only one dimension and you are pretty much fine, you are okay, look at that. This is it what I'm talking
So
about.
like it's something that looks like a crystal. So we're
It's
talking about crystalline.
exactly, this is it what I'm talking about.
Okay,
And you
yeah.
don't have you don't necessarily need to have multiple dimensions. Do you know what I mean? Only one, period. And you are fine. Do you know what I mean? That's the stuff.
So it's building out in another way. That's
Yes,
interesting.
but give me a second. That's the stuff that in that reality, like I mean, like fifth array density or 5D, what we will be able to enter thanks to merging with second reality, axis reality, we will be able to comprehend that there is no better or worse quality, that there is only another quality. That means stuff would have quality but in another way. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
All right, so
And
this is not, it's not exact, but is it a comparison between, say, full spectrum of color as opposed to black and white?
if you want to call it that way, go ahead. Yeah.
Just like as a sort of an example, not that that's what
No,
it is.
I mean, I got you. And do you know what? It's pretty much, yes, it's like that. Yes. Yeah.
The depth of what you can feel, like the texture of the existence, so say the earth might feel differently, have more.
Just give me. I will give you another example. Can you open next tab and we will say how dogs can see. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that. Can we see it more? I mean, can we enlarge it? Yes. So this is it. Our spectrum, color spectrum, dog spectrum. But I will say you what is exactly, I mean, where it is absolutely different. I mean, exactly different. What we can smell and what dogs can smell. It is not only that they've got their smell is much more sensitive. No, it is, I don't know, we can smell, for example, one odor and they've got like, I'm not sure, like 40, 50, maybe 60 odors. I mean, like for 1 hour odor, and they've got like that many odors. And of course, their smell of sense for smell is, crazy, like much more sensitive than ours. That's it, for example. So this is it what I'm saying.
So that's the enhancement. Yeah.
Yes, they've got, let's say, as we can see, much less, sensitive sight, what they can see, but their quotes in quotes eyes, their sight is their smell. Do you know what I'm talking about? They don't need to have full color spectrum color. Nope. And of course, they can hear much wider spectrum than us, than humans. Just by the way, because all of us, we know that, yeah, dogs can smell very, do you know what I mean, very good, and all kind of that stuff. Not only that, they can hear a much wider spectrum of sounds, and of course their sense of hearing, it's much more sensitive, just by the way. So this is it what I'm saying, you know.
Yeah, maybe we can have more of a discussion on it in another show and get more into that. I would like to do that, and because this seems like a really interesting topic. The last part of the question was, when, give an estimate of when this will happen.
And that's the stuff. I can't say exactly, but let's say we've got 2021 right now, 4 or 5 years or so.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next question. Rochelle is asking about cortexiphan. Peter is aware of this drug. Do you have any thoughts on this, Jessica? So, what do you?
This is the stuff what should never be used. No, like, I mean, like, definitely not. I don't know if it was officially introduced, but what I know, I mean, like, what we know, it was shown in a French TV show, what was just, by the way, very popular all over the world. It was very popular, and from my point of view, this definitely never ever shouldn't be, like, the people shouldn't be dosed with this kind of stuff. Never. No. I mean,
what does it do?
Just by the way, we talked about senses. So it how we can say it? It enhanced and advanced, you know, your senses. That's the stuff. But
telepathy, mind control.
But that's the stuff. Give me a second. Enhanced and enhanced your senses, and it, quotes in quotes, opened another stuff like telepathy, mind control, and as it was like pyrokinesis and all kind of that stuff. But from my point of view, because all the time, once they didn't used, let's say, break stuff, like break, for example, you are drinking very hard alcohol, like high percentage alcohol, and once you aren't using, quotes in quotes, break, I don't know, like wine, beer, do you know what I mean? You will end up very drunk, you know. And that was pretty much the stuff. The stuff, that means it was extremely it's extremely hardly addictive in the first place, and in the second place, most people, or most subjects, as they called children, because it was mainly undergoing, on I mean, those experiments were undergoing on children. Once they didn't use, quotes in quotes, breaks, that means another drugs they stopped. I don't want to say, no, not stopped, but they slow down the the effects of cortexifen in the first place, and in the second place, uh, despite cortexifen, let's say, faded out, it cannot. I mean, it despite cortexifen was fully out of the body, there was no single chance to get rid of those abilities, and once there was no cortexifen in the body, those abilities will completely change, vice versa, like what, turn 180 degrees, and they from abilities will become to a curse. Do you know what I mean? And they need to use another drugs to stop it, to prevent it. Do you know
Because
what
it just
I mean?
keeps going, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Was it this was this the drug that was used on the Monarch kids?
And that's the problem.
Monarch, yeah.
A monk,
Umbrella refugees.
a monk, and most, I mean, like very wide variety of another drugs. But yes, the answer is yes. Yes,
And
they
this
used
is
wide variety of the drugs. Yes.
okay. So is the cortexifen? It's not, maybe not called that exact name, but it
But
exists
give me
by
a
the
second.
corporations.
Give me a second. It is really, the real name is cortexifen, and from my point of view, I it's kind of like, what in the world, how they dare to place the real name of the drug in a TV show. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
But that's part of the soft disclosure.
Give me a
Yeah.
second. I agree with you, but let's say, despite I agree with you, but it's highly risky, It's very dicey stuff to do. Like, place real stuff in the soft disclosure. It's pretty much like they placed, sorry for that, real footage on latest unreleased, because it is not released yet, Outlast game, and I was like, what in the world? They placed real footage as a trailer. I'm like, what? This is crazy. This is next level BS.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, that's my answer. Okay, so we can move on, I think.
The next question is regarding the Havana syndrome. Okay, the question is from Air, and it says, have you heard about the Havana syndrome, and what do you think? So here they talk about medical symptoms that were reported in the United States in the Canadian Embassy staff while they were in Cuba, dating back to 2016, as well as subsequently in some other countries, including the United States, Austria, and Germany. 2017, Donald Trump accused Cuba of perpetrating unspecified attacks causing these symptoms. The U.S. reduced all staff at that embassy by a minimum in response. 2018, diplomats of the U.S. in China reported problems similar to those reported in Cuba, as did undercover CIA agents working in other countries with partner agencies to counter Russian covert operations. So essentially, it's like I think it's a frequency attack,
Yes.
where people have hearing strange grating noises, headaches, hearing loss, memory loss, and nausea
Yes, yes, it's
caused
like
by microwaves.
microwaves slash um, scalar weapons. But that's another problem. It is pretty much the same case as we talked. We are circling in the circle, as in Battlefield 2042, that another, let's say, third party, let's say, want to get like want to create distortion between two sides. That means US versus Cuba, or US versus Russia, or let's say West versus East. And this third side, wants to benefit, to profit from chaos and tension those problems will create. No, that's it. And
Right.
I'm talking about, because we need to say it very loud and open, I'm talking about Fifth Reich, so this civilization, they are living isolated in Antarctica,
Okay. Yeah. So the Third Reich actually instigating
No,
something.
please, Fifth Reich, Fifth Reich, please.
Fifth Reich instigating conflict between those by actually sending scalar or microwave signals towards a certain group of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the case. Yeah.
Okay.
We can. I think we can move if you are okay.
Yeah. Someone, Eon Creation said, Schadenfreude was confirming with you that the act of taking pleasure in another person's misfortune. So I just want to share that with you.
Okay.
Point Break asked, what do you think about the ice ball Earth theory? Like the whole Earth is just a small part of one really big sphere.
From my point of view, this is not theory. Give me a second. My personal point of view, this is the right. I mean, let's say actual state, how it is. But this is my personal point of view. Okay. My personal point of view.
See if it comes up that way from a search of Snowball Earth hypothesis of originally explaining the evidence of apparent presence. No, that's something different.
But technically, I'm like 50-50, and I don't want to say snowball, but let's say that our not only live Earth, but how we can call it, like our context of existence, it's only very tiny little piece of another much more complex and complicated contexts of existence. So this is first 50, if you want to call it that way, so first half. And second half, if we are not living in real deal, that means is world in context of existence, but in simulation, we can call it matrix for our purposes, conversation purposes. And from my point of view, it is not matrix or context of simulated context of existence, but very tiny little piece on huge existence, like let's say multiple multiple layers of existence. Sorry, I mean multiple levels of simulations of existence. That mean multiple levels of matrices. Let's call them, how we can say it, babushka syndrome, matryoshka babushka. Can we see this? I mean, we can use, I think we can use, yeah, not syndrome, but I'm talking about, yes, this is it. Yes, nope, I mean, I'm talking about this toy, this Russian toy. Yeah, this is it, what I'm talking about. Exactly. Yeah, so he won a huge toy, and then smaller and smaller and smaller and even smaller. Yeah. Matryoshka syndrome. Yes, this is it. Yeah. That's my point of view. My personal point of view.
Yep. Okay. So we'll have that article there for people to review. All right. So we're moving on to the next question. Will Ho Sun asked, interesting. So in the Nazi reality or the Axis.
Axis, we can call it Axis reality, yeah.
Okay. People who do things wrong are isolated, as in the Maria Montessori's teachings, how Montessori schools originally run. Children were punished by socially isolating them in a corner, let them observe the rest of the kids and class and see how things work, albeit with an adult attending to it. So pretty much Will Ho Sun is saying that this process of dealing with people who are not getting along with others is to show them their punishment is pretty much pulling them away from everyone else.
Yes, they don't need to be punished. Let's say, do you know what I mean? Like get in prison. What means in prison is concentrated very bad with very negative energy. But yes, this is exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, the next question is from Benny. He said, "Thank you so much, Jessica and Peter, but who is Gary?" And
you can just, Jessica, you are the one, you need to clarify who is Gary, because this is your job. Yeah.
we'll go to the acioagency.org site, and
No, we don't have ACIO official, I think.
official, yep. ACIO official, there it is.
Okay.
It can go under either or. And here is the site. You can always go and visit it and read many of the articles. Here's a history of the ACIO for those of you that want to learn a little bit more about how the ACIO was, I can't say founded because we didn't get that far into it, but we're going to get into, go into the database, and here we'll see the Council of Five. And when?
Yeah, and
there's the merge right there we talked about earlier.
And Gary needs only two things to be pleased. A lot of coffee and instant play of Italo Disco.
So Gary is one of the immersers.
Yeah, Gary is one of the immersers. Where is my Italo Disco? Where is my coffee and Italo Disco? Hey man,
Italian
don't
disco.
So loud, yeah. Not so loud. I need my Italo Disco.
So he's the Council of Five is an a group of extraterrestrial races that are assisting our planet, and but not heavy involvement, right? It's more observing, yes. And so then they also interact with the intergalactic councils. We have.
I mean, from my point of view, I love Gary. He's a very good guy, but what is the problem for me with him? I can't say if he's, let's say, if he's taking something serious, if he's like, let's say, 50-50, or if he's joking. And that's kind of problem in his position. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, he has an interesting sense of humor and a way of looking at things, and he acts like he doesn't understand why we make the decisions that we make. And
Yes, exactly.
yeah. But on the other hand, if he's showed up a few times when I felt like we were in a lot of trouble, and it's interesting, his presence. It kind of feels like a guardian in a way, but not like overseeing in any way. It's just more of an interaction.
Yeah.
But I know that he's, if we were to get in a situation, he would show up, and he has before.
Do you know what? You are right. Yeah, definitely. That's true. Yes.
Yeah, they're not like micromanaging us, but just
Yeah.
no, they don't have time for that. I mean, it's only when things are important. Although they do laugh at our behavior the way you're laughing at his behavior. They think we're silly too, and some of the things that we do. So this person, Benny says, as a German, this other reality is very interesting. With the time, I think it will be much different from here. If Jessica or Peter read this, my question: has this timeline any resonance or impact on us here? So, like, in other words, are we already experiencing this now?
Sorry, what?
The question is from a Benny, who said he's a German, and he's the one that mentioned who was Gary first. The second question was, as a German citizen, this other reality is very interesting. Talking about the Axis or the new Nazi reality. With time, he says, it's very interesting. With time, I think it will be much different from here. If Jessica or Peter read this, my question is, has this timeline any resonance or impact on us here now? I think he's talking about now.
Sorry, I was just a little bit confused. Do you know what I mean? Yes, but technically not right here, right now. But we are in process of merging. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the stuff.
Okay, so that's for Benny's answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's I don't know if this is supposed to be ooh-ah, it's OOAA, but that's their question is, I'm not sure if it's related to Battlefield 2042, but I remember you once mentioned in a conversation with Peter that there is a civilization that lives inside the sun, and I wondered if you can elaborate a bit more about that, as far as what sort of atmosphere did they live in, etc.
Yeah, and they are observing civilizations of observers. Pretty much all of the star systems, there is intelligent life developed in those star systems. They've got observing or observers, civilizations of observers inside the solar system, the size, the inside, really in the middle of the star. It's kind of weird, but it is like that.
I've seen them before. I call them the people of the sun.
Yeah.
And some of them look humanoid, some of them don't. They look like of another species. But what it feels like, Peter, too. I've had glimpses of maybe they have some humanoid looking civilizations actually living there. I don't know if you have any information on that, but I've seen that before. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm just saying it's like that, you know.
Yeah. I'm looking to see. I think there was someone asked about Griselda asked if I've always struggled to understand if there's any connection between the Vril Society kind of Vril and the Black Eye Club body snatchers. So I guess I don't know. We don't really have a thorough description of what she is asking, like, you know, in comparison. But
I don't think so. It is something like it. I mean, it if there is any connection, but I don't want to say that just because I don't know about connection that is any. You know, I'm not sure about.
yeah, I think that they're talking about the Third Reich, the Vril.
Yes.
Not the Vril Damen, but the those that were over them, and then compared to this group that causes the black eyes in people when they have those implants.
This is very bad.
Yeah. So
very bad.
I believe that's the end of the questions for today.
I think that was very good show. What do you think? Wasn't it?
There's one last question from Anita Sorgi about the role of the Khazarian mafia in the whole scenario, and that's you know, something that's part of the context of existence that we've been struggling through with the elite and so forth. Any thoughts on that, Peter?
Technically, those are, you know, true Hebrew people, because being Jewish, it doesn't mean you are Hebrew. Jewish, that means something like religion, yeah? And Khazars, that means people, they believe that they are Hebrew, but they are not, because of diaspora, like people, they spread, like, let's say, people, they were Hebrew, but they were spread all over the world, but they didn't, let's say, yes, Khazars, yes. I will explain. Let me explain it, okay? The stuff is like they didn't, let's say, change the purity of the blood. That means, you know, they let have, you know, marriages with non-Hebrew men and women, you know, and so that is the reason why, respectively, how this phenomenon Khazars let even happened, how they appeared. Do you know what I mean? And of course, Khazars believe that they are more than original Hebrew people. They are living in Israel, what is not true, definitely. They are not. They believe that they are owning, you know, like they've got the privilege of, you know, of doing the things right, that they are inheritance of true knowledge, true wisdom, of ancient Talmud and Torah and all kind of that stuff. What is, just by the way, another stuff what is not true. Yeah. And that's the, you know, that's the reason why they are, I mean, many people are calling them mafia, just by the way, including pure Hebrew people for living in Israel. They are living in Israel. I have many people from Israel, and even not only Khazars, they are not ethnically pure Hebrew people, but they twisted multiple times Jewish, religion, and they misused it in order to excuse their very bad actions through the history. you know yes, as we can see it, they are like Zionists. Yes, that's kind of that stuff. And Illuminati, of course, that's it. And they are doing very bad stuff. They are always into elites. Do you know what I mean?
They have a connection to the Rothschilds in this
Yes,
article. Yeah.
Freemasonry, Illuminati, Zionists. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just by the way. So yes, that's it. Uh-huh. And sorry, I mean, what I am thinking about them, they are very important part of elite. That means, or that means the hierarchy enslaving you. And we need this, let's say, very tiny piece of population, what vast majority of people, they are aware what's really going on in the world. They should consider those people as main enemy. That's it. Because a real deal Hebrew people, they are real believers in Jewish religion. They are good people. They are not bad people. No, I disagree with this statement. But Khazar's people are bad people. That's it. Just by the way.
Yeah.
Just by the way.
Yeah, there's the Rothschild shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Because they are doing all kind of very bad stuff, and they are twisting, like throughout the time, the history, they were twisting, and they still are twisting multiple times ancient Jewish texts, the scripture, in order to excuse their very bad stuff. I'm just saying. So that's my opinion. I think if we don't have any other questions, so that's it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Peter, and thanks for sharing with us today. This is, I don't know if this is the end of Battlefield.
I think this is the end of this is part 4, and
Yeah.
final part of this mini Battlefield series, Battlefield 2042 series. So I want to thank you for another opportunity to be on your channel. I want to thank to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners, and I'm looking forward for next time. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you everyone for listening, and this is the end of this series, and of course we'll be bringing in other information. I know that this is a very difficult time right now. A lot of people are upset about the current affairs of events that are happening around the world. We will continue to keep you updated about what's going on, and information directly from the ACIO comes from the show Disclosures. And as I have said before, information regarding many of the ACIL programs are coming through Peter from the 12th Division of the ACIO. So thank you for listening and paying attention. That we have our website. So thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. and stay tuned with upcoming events. Have a good day.
You have been listening to the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Marrocco. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit www.acio-agency.org and www.readingsbyarael.com. Post your questions and comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to support our work. All the links can be found in the description. Thank you.